Here we are back at the Our Barn Community Podcast. Today we're really pleased, we're elated to have what feels like a celebrity. She pops up in the WhatsApp group every 10 seconds in the Our Futures WhatsApp group. And actually somebody said, who is that Vicky? This is actually, that's Taj's mum. He goes, makes sense now. So this is Vicky Ranger. Hello, Vicky.
Hi, David and Jamie.
And Jamie. Jamie's in the background. So we're recording today's podcast socially distanced and with all the right technology provided by Luke via his Jack Petchey Award. So we're here to talk everything between family, community, and we'll do our very best to put everything into perspective.
Sure.
Because we've got a lot to talk about. So would you like to introduce yourself, Vicky?
Okay, I'm Vicky. I'm proud mother of Taj, and Taj is my son, who's 33 years old now. And what can I say about myself? And I'm a working mother and a widower now. And I'm looking after my two sons, Karan, who's the older one, 11 months older than Taj, and then Taj, my star boy.
Yeah, indeed. The man that goes without any without any need for an introduction really at all.
Sure.
But it was really nice because this is how community works. We were introduced via Autism Hounslow. Rose did a lovely introduction actually after you guys have come through a very tricky time.
Yes.
And that's the true strength in a community is where people talk.
Yes.
And people connect the right people for the right reasons. And that was back in 2019. A lot has happened since then.
Of course.
If I could list some of the things that do happen,
okay.
We'll put into perspective how busy you are. Never mind how busy Taj is. You've got to get him to Heston West Big Local, to everything at Our Barn that is possible to attend. You've got the Gardeners, the Film Club, Our Futures, Multi-Sports. He attends Creative Arts through KD Yoga. He will do every Zoom check-in possible. He's also he was appointed manager of the Our Barn Football Club and is one of our most active, well, he's probably the most active community member. How do you do all this, Vicky? How do you keep this going?
Well, I would say that this was always my nature. Maybe I have learned a lot from my mother, because my mother was, she had 9 of us, and I'm the 7th. And I have seen all during my life, I grew up, that how she handled us all, how she made us make sure we had a good education and everything. So did my father. And I think, or you can just imagine all the challenges she had during the time we were growing up, though we were very good, must say we were not challenging at all. So I think I always was inspired by my mother, and I used to learn from her. And she was the most calmest person, and she was very hardworking. And she grew up in Africa, and then we came here. And we had challenging time, but she worked hard always so that we and my father, that we have a good education and upbringing. And all what I have today and what I am is because of my mother. Because the reason I keep on mentioning my mother is because my father passed away 34 years ago. So my mother was with us. So I got married while he was gone. My father was. And so I have learned everything from my mother. Today, what I am is my resilience comes from my father. My loving and hardworking comes from my mother. Yes.
So given that Taj has a lot of experience behind the scenes, all of that love in that family,
definitely.
It's what we see every day.
Yes. And Taj is, he's like a sponge. Even though he'll be looking away or something, all during this, his life growing up, He always was around my family, his father's family, and he was very close to everybody. And he always used to had a place in his heart for everyone. So, and that is where the care comes from him, that he wanted to be with people. Even now, his uncles and aunts, he will sneak into my phone and send them a message, phone, love you, and then things like that, because he wants to be in touch. Because of the lockdown, obviously he can't see everybody so often, but that comes, that I always made him that he was part of family all the time. Uh, it was never the case that you can't go there and you can't do that. It was always, yes, you can. So,
yes, you can.
yeah.
Yes, you can. It's something that comes very natural, because if you meet, and when you meet, if for our listeners who have never met Taj, there are a couple of things that would become very apparent, is that he wants you, if you're a good person, he wants you a part of his community. So
Exactly.
he will invite you to Taz's group over at Heston West Big Local.
Yes.
And
yes.
every other group that he is involved in, you'll
Yes.
get the, why does he not invite him, get him in, get her there, make sure that they get the number, make sure, and that's a connector of people.
Yes.
Somebody
yes.
who is holding our Barnes community together and inviting lovely people
Yes.
to participate.
And this is the reason, David, that today what is Taj is that if we don't talk, see, that is so important, that if you don't talk about your problems or your issues, your challenges, you can't help. When you're talking, you can help people. You can help. And this is how I came about with you, because if I hadn't spoken to Rose, I wouldn't have known to get Taj engaged, with you guys who changed his life. So I think, to me, I don't have this taboo that if somebody says, I'm bullied, so no, don't tell anybody. You tell everybody, you talk about it, so that if somebody can help you, and also somebody can show you where can you get help. And if you have some information, and if you have any ways that how to deal with things, because I've gone through what with Taj and Karan, I can help somebody. So if I can help, if I don't talk and I keep it to myself, oh no, I don't want people to judge me, no, that is not me.
How do you set expectations for your lads? Looking forward, looking at their lives, looking at how it all shapes out.
Okay. Well, I look at myself and I look at the world. See, I can mention today that my oldest son was bullied, right? And purely because he's very intelligent. He came from a private school and went to local school, which was his choice, right? But he was so resilient, he never, like Taj, never missed his class. But what it was that now I used to say to my son that, yes, in an ideal world, you would have been an ideal son, but this is not the ideal world. So you have to change. So when I look at the situation and I look at my sons, so like Taj today, he has challenges. He had challenges all through his life. But I try to think, okay, how can I make this better? Who can help him? How can I get the help, right? When his father passed away nearly 3 years ago, obviously I tried to get him counseling. He went for counseling. So I was not embarrassed that, my son is going for counseling. And even there, when they just asked me, that I walked in first day and they asked me to go and leave Taj there. And I said, no, I need to speak to you first, because he's not somebody who can tell you really what is going on in, but I know. So let me brief you first, and then you can work on him. So I think what you need to do is you need to really listen to them and get into their mind and what they're thinking. And you can tell, but sitting there with 5 minutes with them, and if the situation they are not comfortable, you can see that. And therefore I thought I will do my utmost best. So whatever needs to doing, even if I had to leave work, I will concentrate. But then I never had to leave work, because I didn't want to sit at home. I wanted to set an example to my sons that working hard is not a bad thing. Just because I have two of you, that doesn't give me an excuse. Okay, you know, I am my own person also. I need to be supporting my family, my husband, and be part of this, because that's what I have seen in my family with my parents. So I also, therefore, I feel that Taj can now access some kind of job, right, and be more independent. He had you know, travel training, and I've seen that that has made an effect on him, because when he's walking, and I've seen, I told my niece yesterday, and I said, can you see, when we were crossing the road, even though it was a Pelican crossing, he you know, went with his hand so that the person really knows that he's crossing the road. So I want him, for my children growing up, that they learn everything what they're gonna face, and not be afraid of, you know, the, you know, life's challenges.
Yeah.
And I do my, I think it's the best is with the care and being a friend. I think parents have to be friend, and I think that's the reason today Karan and Taj can open up, and they can talk to me about anything, and I know exactly what they're going through, and I never shunned them and said, why are you doing it, leave it, and blah blah blah. And I always listen to them, and I try to find a way for them to be comfortable with things around them.
Vicky, you've got, you know, a very long career. Like, you've been so dedicated to your life outside of the family, and you know, your boss has said to you, you know, they could never replace you. And I think what we've always got to think of is that if we were not here, how would our family deal with that?
Yes.
And I think, you know, having that community around you and having those strong pillars, so that, you know, if we're not there as the family, that young person will have, you know, like an organic family already built in the shape of a community. And certainly I know Taj fits right in. And he makes a big effort to fit in. So yeah, it's a these are conversations that are sometimes hard to have, but we're not here forever. So how do you prepare for not being here? You know, it's quite tricky.
And Taj is very you know, therefore I'm a little while ago, Taj was not as close to his brother as he is now. And he used to be like little daunted by him. Not that Karan was a tyrant, but Karan has, you know, his persona, like, you know, but now he was even going around him. He used to be a little bit, you know, kind of reluctant. But I used to, you know, say, and I made my son also, I said, look, tomorrow, I know there's only 11 months difference between you, but you are a big brother to him. So you need to be, you know, doing things like that and so comfortable. So therefore now Taj is so comfortable, and he even says, maybe I can go and stay with Karan. And it's very comforting for me, because I'm you know, I don't have, sometimes, David, I feel, I think too, and I used to say to my mother that I wish I had few more kids. Like you have 9 of us. I wish I had, and they would have been support for each other, right? Because nowadays, I think the families as well, they're so busy, right? So I wish I had a daughter, another daughter or son and all, and they could have had more support, you know, around. But no, still I'm lucky. I have quite a few family members who are very close to Taj, and they're always gonna be looking after him. They will be always be there for him. So yes, it's sometimes, you know, this question in me, you can just imagine, is little very daunting.
Yes.
But I know we're not going to be here for all our lives. And I know Taj will be very happy, because he's on that path now. He is,
that's it. He's you know, maturing into that lovely,
exactly,
lovely personality that we all we're all kind of
Yeah.
Funny enough, we were like, how old is Taj? He's, he's
Yes.
30, because we don't want him to get older.
No, no, and
We
he
wanted to
doesn't look it.
stick around,
Yes,
stick around.
yes, yes, yes,
But
yes.
he's got a couple of years left before we
Yes,
get to
sure.
that point. But
Yeah.
yeah, he's definitely a committed member to everything we put up there. He'll grab.
Definitely. Yes.
I think he's been to every party. I think he's been to the Halloween
Yes.
party, the
Yes.
fundraiser. He's been to the art
Yes.
gallery opening. He's been to
You name
absolutely
it, and
everything.
he knows everybody, right? And everywhere he went, he remembers everybody, and also he tries to, like, that he introduces, like you said, he will try to introduce people who from this place to other, for them to access what he's going to, so that they can be part of that. You can just imagine what a beautiful son I have, what a caring, and I am proud of him. I'm proud. And I think I shouldn't say that, but it was all, I thought you need to, if you are in this world, you need to share what you have, and that, enriches your life more.
I think that's the take-home factor of this podcast is sharing. It's a very cheesy punchline, but sharing is caring, and it's share your emotions, share your wealth, share your knowledge.
Yes, definitely, and that's what Taj is doing, and I'm so proud of him. And I again and again I would say, David, it was our barn and your team, which today, what Taj is, shaped his life, really did,
Good. We popped up at the right time.
Yes, you see, I mean, people say when the one door closes, the other opens, and he opened for us.
Because we haven't been around for that long, especially the Our Futures program.
Right.
We designed it for young adults like Taj, who had kind of burned out on all the education fronts, and really have it as a last option, where they can, somewhat start again, not being too pressured into picking up a pen and paper or anything like that. It's real life experience.
Yeah.
So when we opened up, we didn't have 100 applicants, but we had the right applicants.
Right. No, but then I think, you know what, David, I think lots of people, I no disrespect to anybody, I've lots of parents I've seen which grew up with Taj. And when I said to them, why don't he, they are more, I would say proudly, they are more able than Taj. Taj has little anxiety, right? But they're more able. But then they say, no, what do your son and daughter does? Oh, he goes gym, this. So I thought, it's always, we thought that learning never stopped. And that what happened when 25, he can't access any college. No, everything stops. So I questioned when I used to go to the meetings in Civic Center for this, and they used to say, and I said, sadly, I don't need benefits, but I need services for my son, right? Why isn't there some kind of centers where they can build up on some skills and tomorrow then can access some small job and then they won't be on benefits? So why isn't this, I used to go there and I used to think that I'm just talking rubbish here. It's not going to help. But all that what our band did, because after 25, there was something for Taj to do. And I remember asking you that how long you said no, until 35. So I said, okay, we got few more
time.
years.
We have I think we got to watch out for for when the Our Barn Cafe for the new project. We're really excited to get that up and running in the new year. We know Taj is right behind it. And will be, bustling with joy at the helm of something new, something he can call his own. And fingers crossed.
Of course.
All of this stuff becomes a long distance past, and we all
memory.
This year is teaching us to be patient.
Yes.
But like that, Taj is patient. He can wait.
Yes.
He does ask when, but he can wait.
Yes. I know he had one day at his the cafe, And then he said, what? Lockdown now? So I said, well,
yeah.
Taj, yes, well, that's how it is. So we have to just make sure that we adjust ourselves in any situation, and that is, Taj can handle that,
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Yeah. So that's where we've got to.
Okay.
This is a ... The story has to be continued.
Of course.
If you bump into Vicky on your rounds in life, make sure you stop and talk to her. She's an
Yes.
extremely valuable member of our community and a loving mum.
Thank you, David.
Thank you,
for
Vicky.
having me. Thank
And,
you.
And
thank you for everything.
We look forward to seeing you in person real soon, because obviously things are a little bit tricky at the minute, but
Yes.
that's life. That is just life. This is
Yes.
just as good.
Of course. Yeah. You just have to, whatever comes in your life, you have to just be happy, So that is, thanks again for being part of Taj's life.
Yeah, we got him. He's got you. We've got him.